good. Mic check 1, 2. AK, you can go ahead and start that. And then mic check. Alright, I'm just gonna continue and go live. Yep, everything's showing good right now. Hello everybody and welcome along here to the Homestead Miami Speedway, where usually we would be here for a championship run, but here for the Mercury Cougar season, the championship will be next weekend at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But first, to figure out who's going to fight for a championship, we need to get through tonight, and the points couldn't be any so closer than they are right now. I'm Fan2403, staying alongside AKDJ 2006, who AK is currently a little occupied right now, as he is the host of a second qualifying session, because we did go over the 24 players in a lobby. Obviously, I'm spectating the bigger lobby. We're at 23 cars on track right now, trying to work their way up and through the field. Currently sitting on pole right now is RZXU5A MVP with a 31.028. Cars are getting soon to wrap up their qualifying session, and we will see if MVP is able to maintain pole position. As of right now, where everything sits, it looks like he will hold it.
Yeah, over in the second lobby, Nanda just started his flying, or not flying lap, his out lap, so we'll be seeing how he does here very shortly.
Alright, so first qualifying lobby just officially concluded their laps, and obviously we will let Panda run his laps through, and then we will get his result, and we'll see where he places. So let's go to RZXU5A MVP. Looking at him, currently really close field separation right now. MVP sitting at a 31.028. 31.028, that is the current fastest time to try and beat right now. Just a tiny bit slower from what they were running in the practice lobby, because practice, the MVP was only able to run just a couple hundredths faster than that.
Currently, Panda's just on his third lap now, so it will almost be done. We'll see if he can, where he'll place.
While he's doing that, let's take a look at the point standing separation. Currently, right now, RZXU5A MVP sitting at the top with 2140. He pretty much just needs to finish tonight's race, and then he is locked in to the playoffs. Or not to the playoffs, sorry, to the championship 4. Rough Rabbit kind of in the same boat, just 5 points behind at 2135. And then Sly the Uberman in a very similar boat as well, sitting at 2129, with a championship point as well for him winning Daytona. So top 3 are practically locked in, so we're not going to be focusing on those guys. But the 4th position is very much still up to grabs with Tomato Drifts. Tomato Drifts is sitting at 2109 in the standings, and it's just 2 points that separate him and FM Esports. FM sitting at 2107, looking for a very good run today, and we'll see where FM is at. Trying to find him so then I can see his lap time. There he is. Oh, okay, I was blind. FME Sports currently sitting at a 31.147. So, on the slower side in comparison to Tomato Drifts, who Tomato is sitting at a 31.040. But that's just qualifying. Still have a whole race to be ran. It will be 120 laps to be ran tonight. And that should make it all the more interesting.
Yeah, for sure, especially with how familiar these guys are with this track. Now that we've run it a couple times with these cars and with how close these points are, especially to that cut line, it should be definitely a very interesting night for pretty much all the playoff drivers involved, and even the guys that aren't in the playoffs. It should still be a very fun night.
And let's see where everybody's lap time sits right now. Alright, looking at the main lobby. The slowest lap time I see is a 31.5 in the main lobby. But then looking at the second qualifying lobby, looks like Panda with a 31.985. Indeed, he is out. So that means Panda is out, and then there will be a second driver out. And that being the slowest time that I see in here, Mr. Shorty with a 31.5. Really should be. Let me just double check. Because the Panthers at 31.4. I don't see anyone slower than that. Alright, now AK, a spot just opened up after so we'll try to get AK in the main lobby. Let's see, I see everybody in chat. Now, hello Subsonic. Hank Tank Boss, hello to you. And you have Rough Rabbit, Sly in here. Yes, hello to all of you watching the stream. And to the drivers who are currently in the lobby and are going to compete tonight, good luck to you guys. Wish you all the best. And indeed, Sly is correct. Super close lobby of what we have here tonight. Really close lobby.
Seems like everything around this race has been very close. Points are very close, times are very close, so it should be, like we've said, a very interesting race and a very fun and very competitive race.
This race very much so looking to be super competitive, and we weren't expecting the points to get this close. We were definitely expecting them to be close, but I don't think neither one of us expected them to be this close, especially considering that Tomato last week he had problems with his shifter. So Tomato, he uses an actual shifter for racing. So he's on wheel, he uses an actual shifter, and he was having problems with his shifter. And with us being at Watkins Glen last week, where you're shifting every corner, he was having the issues, and then he decided to practically just quit the race. He knew he was up by quite a few points, but he is definitely lucky that guys like FM, Smiley, who was subbing for Smokey Unic last week, he's lucky that they didn't get good finishes or better finishes that they could have. But also, RZX Cam, a big underdog here tonight. RZX Cam only about 6 points back from Tomato Drifts because he had an amazing finish last week at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I mean, with like you said, with Tomato having problems with the shifter, you kind of hope that it's fixed by now for his sake, because, like we've said, these points are super close. So one position, and I think it will come down to one position, will make the difference between making these final four or not. Because fourth all the way through the last, fourth all the way through ninth are less than 10 points away from each other. So it's going to be very close these final couple of laps, because I think we're going to see a lot of aggressive driving, because drivers are going to know they need that 1 point or 2 points to make it or break it.
And let's see if we can actually get some of these guys in here for pre-race interviews. We're going to be talking with those three, FM, Cam, and Smokey, if we're able to get them in here. Second, you guys. Oh,
Sorry, I was talking to the race control.
Okay, you were in there. I was curious where you went.
Yeah, no, sorry. Did I miss the pre-race interviews yet or no? Okay,
No, we were trying to get them in here. Pre-race interviews.
Pre-race interviews.
So, please, when you guys get in here, connect your audio. We'll do pre-race. Yes,
I'm making my
FM,
bed at
trying
the
to get
same
you in
time.
here. So, let's pre-race interviews here. We're gonna try and get you. We're trying to get Smokey in here as well.
Hey, Fish told me I'm not belonged in the Fast Boy party.
Yeah, we'll do a mic check here real quick. Mic check 1 2.
Mic check. Mic check. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
I think I heard one of you guys. Not sure.
I don't know how to put a pillowcase on.
FM, talk again.
Yeah, I can hear
I do not hear you on the stream, FM.
Dang.
I believe it's because RCX Cam is streaming, so he might have included his audio in Cam's stream.
My audio is included.
Oh yes, your audio is included now. I just heard it. There was the stream delay. All right, so it looks like Smokey's not getting in here. So we will talk with you guys here pre-race. So first we'll begin with RZX Cam. Cam, you had a shocker and an amazing finish last weekend at Watkins Glen that was able to put you in striking distance here for tonight's race at Homestead Miami Speedway. What's the confidence looking like with how you were able to redeem a good finish last week at Watkins, and now heading into Miami, you're only 6 points away from being able to be in the championship 4?
Just finished 3 spots ahead of Tomato, then I'm good. It's... Maybe wreck him. Wreck MVP, I gotta do that.
No, you can't do that.
And survive, because there's gonna be a lot of wrecks tonight, because how even the field is. It's gonna be wild.
All right. Well, the field was looking really close tonight. So usually when we see a field so close like that in separation, usually what comes after is very hard to pass. So how are you going to try and be on the patient side and work your way and make sure you get the positions that you need?
Force people into mistakes, or just get by when they're in other people's mistakes. Just stay out of trouble. That's pretty much.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and hopefully you run a good race. Now you can go back to the party that you're supposed to be in.
I'm getting bullied.
Don't worry about that. Moving on, next guy in line. If RZX Cam was put into striking distance, then this guy, all he needs to do is just give a little tap on the shoulder. FME Sports. FM, point correction kind of was working against and slightly in your favor here, to where just a handful of points, less than a handful of points, separates you and Tomato. You knew that you needed to try to capitalize as much as you could at Watkins Glen to set yourself up for this race. Currently looking at the standings, you're saying 2 points behind Tomato. What's it going to be like? It's so close. The points are so close for you guys tonight.
I think some of the key, besides pit strategy and keeping track position, I might be able to pull one out of the hat there and work the dirty air and know when to draft and when to get out of the dirty air, hopefully, and capitalize on mistakes that'll be very minimal. This field is stacked tonight and how close we are. We need to be precise if I'm going to have a chance.
Yeah, so qualifying times right now, Tomato was sitting faster than you in comparison to your qualifying time, but you this season have upped your game in qualifying. But more importantly, you've been able to up your game in races. We've noticed your racing style a little bit. You kind of lay back, kind of let all the commotion happen. Then right at the end, you get within striking distance, and we see you all of a sudden, you're inside the top 10, getting close to the top 5. Are you just going to follow that book that you've been running this season, or are you just going to try and put everything on the line, try to get up to the front and stay there?
Well, getting to the front is going to be a big key, but all the commotion or wrecks and anything in the front ain't going to matter if you're going to get caught up in it. It just matters trying to be in the right position at the right time and just trying to do that on the fly and hope the strategy works out. But up towards the beginning, I don't really need to be up front or in the middle. It's just trying to be there at the end is the main part. I'm going to set myself up for the final stint.
All right, well, good luck to you, ever so close, and we'll see if we're going to be talking with you either after the race, or we'll see if you're going to be a Championship 4 driver heading into Indianapolis. So good luck to you, and go ahead, you can go into the session that you're supposed to be in.
Sounds good. Hope y'all enjoy the show. It's going to be a show for sure.
We'll try our best.
Enjoy.
So quick driver update. Choros has left, which opened up a spot for Shorted back, as he was the out of the 2 cars that were that got disqualified due to lap times, because obviously they didn't make it, the top 22. Shorty was the fastest out of those 2, so he'll be back in for this race.
And then I see trying to. There's a lot going on right now in the Discord. If you're a driver, you understand because you are in our Discord server and you see what's going on. But for any of you who might not be in our Discord server, there's a lot going on because second a driver leaves, now, yes, we need to go off of the people who qualified and we need to go off of who had the faster times, so then we just go in order. Because there's some drivers who did not qualify and were attempting to join the race lobby, but in reality, you set down a qualifying time, now you can be a part of the race. So, if you didn't set a qualifying time, doesn't matter if you're here on time and you're right here. If you set a lap, that is your ticket to be able to get in if somebody leaves at the last second. So that's what's trying to get sorted out right now. I believe Panda was also just invited to the session, so I don't know if there was somebody else who left.
Yeah, so the problem there was race control just couldn't get a hold of Shorty for a tiny bit there. So they went to the next person down thinking that Shorty was unable to race, but Shorty got back just a little bit late.
Ah, okay, so Shorty's now here, and we should be able to be good to go. There's the launch countdown.
Yeah.
There is the starting order. But obviously, we will read you off the order here shortly if my phone can stop buffering to look at the qualifying order. There we go, finally. So starting on pole is RGX U5A MVP with Tomato Drifts in second, making up the front row. Row 2 is Smokey Unic and SSR Mayhem. Row 3 will be Exiv and STG Oracle. Row 4 is Vanquish FRC and FME Sports. Row 5 is RZX JJ Reds and RZX Cam. Row 6 is Bagged Veloster and Forza Europa. Row 7 is Sly the Uberman and Crazy Fools 99. Row 8 is Smiley is Here and JDMX Culture. Row 9 is Rough Rabbit and Mad Dab 17. And row 10 is Someone in Front of You and King Cameron. And finally, row 11, Panthers and Mr. Shorty. Those are the drivers getting themselves in tonight. And already, there was somebody not here, I noticed that.
Yeah, it was Shorty, but they're still going to go for it this time by, according to race control, so. Might be able to pull a Kyle Busch.
If he times it right, we'll see. In order to fight for a championship at Indianapolis, you need to get through here at Miami first. So let's decide it. MVP takes the green flag for Miami.
And already there's a car on the wall. Mad was bumped off the restart after Culture got a bad start. He had to check up for him. The person behind Mad could not check up. Kept it straight, but he did have contact with that outside wall.
MVP pulls away with the lead. Let's go back with a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all running together right now. Tomato stuck on the high line. And it looks like that was Vanquish FRC running in the bottom, and he's going to be able to barely clear Tomato, who pretty much almost put him in the wall. Vanquish now up to second. Smokey Unic in third place, contesting for the spot.
Yeah, this is a track that Smokey earlier in the season was very good at. If you remember, I believe he qualified on pole, if not pole, then second place. So it's a track he's very good at. So it might be the perfect scenario for him for this to be the last track, as he's one of those people who needs to get some points to get in. He's very close to being able to.
These guys running so close, they're running side by side right now. Let's go back to someone who can look at all of this action. SSR Mayhem running in the 7th position currently. JJ looks like he's able to clear the spot on Tomato, and Vanquish trying to gain ground on MVP.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not shocking that they're this close just judging by those times. Like you said with Vanquish, Vanquish has pretty much picked his way through a couple of cars to make it up to second, and it looks like he looks to be fast on those front stretch, but maybe into turns 1 and 2, MVP might be able to gain just that couple of tenths faster.
Now we have the Forza logo pop up.
Caution's out.
Caution is out. Tomato drifts DNF!
Tomato drifts DNF's Panthers has tons of damage. He's not a playoff driver, but it might be linked to why Tomato went.
And caution is out. Tomato drifts. The driver who was sitting in the 4th spot, the transfer spot for the Championship 4, has just DNF'd from the session.
Yeah, that'll be huge now, because now it's anyone's game, because no matter what, as long as they finish, they'll be ahead. Or at least some of them should be ahead, sorry.
Don't know what is going on here. Vanquish and Mayhem sped ahead of the pack. AK, we hearing anything from race control?
Not yet, but they did forget about the first 5 laps caution-free part.
Yeah, first 5 laps of every race. That was a new rule that was implemented to be caution-free, so now... Now, this isn't the championship race. If this was the championship race, then we would have backed out of the session right now. Because the rule is, for championship session, if before the halfway mark a championship 4 driver lags out, then we will back out. Here, this isn't the championship race. So the regular lag out rule still applies. So before halfway in this race, we would need, with it being a packed house, we would need at least 6 to 7 drivers to actually lag out of the session.
Yeah, I mean, by the sounds of it, it was a lag out on Tomato's part from what I'm hearing. So super, super unfortunate for Tomato. But I mean, you don't want to see that, and you don't want to see that's how a driver loses a championship. But I mean, obviously, with rules, there's nothing we can do about it unless, like you said, a few more cars lag out, which hasn't happened for a couple of years, I think.
It hasn't happened in a long time, yeah. It hasn't happened to where we've had that many people lag out in a time span. So, yeah, unfortunately, yes, unfortunately, people did indeed forget about that rule.
Yeah, so super unfortunate, but obviously rules are rules, and we can't bend them until we get to the championship 4, of course. But
now everybody is doubled up. The Vanquish, he looks like he either made a pass on MVP and has elected the inside. Or
I believe currently Smokey is that 4th driver in right now.
Well, back to green. And no, looks like MVP was indeed the leader. He's right on back with a driver who was very fast in the previous seasons. This season, still fast, but wasn't able to make as many starts. That's STG Oracle.
Yeah, I remember Oracle last season. He was kind of the underdog of the season, made the Final 4. And he's only made a handful of starts this season. But when he has made starts, he's been very fast for the most part. So he might look to try and take away a win from maybe a playoff driver or maybe a couple other drivers.
Vanquish looking side by side to the inside of MVP. RZX JJ Red sitting in 3rd. MVP trying with a crossover right away off the exit. Is going to be tight into turn 3.
If I'm MVP, I don't know if I'm pushing it this hard because you're not completely safe.
Both of
If things
all
go
three of them
horribly
lose some time. Smokey gonna take advantage. He's now up to second.
Yeah, JJ Reds went through and he'll take that first spot. He was one of the 2 cars that go through along with Smokey, like you said, while Vanquish and MVP were fighting. So drivers are definitely looking to capitalize because they're so close that they can make any small mistake can be another position gain.
Smokey right on the back bumper of JJ Reds entering into turn 3. And now with that, that leaves Vanquish MVP still side by side.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. They're still side by side, which means they'll probably be losing a little bit of time. So the car behind them, Oracle, might look to do the same thing Smokey and JJ Reds did 1 lap ago.
But with how close these guys are, Smokey, he looks like he's going to try to go to the inside. Took a look, thinks about it.
Yeah, he definitely took a look. Like I said, every point matters right now. Smokey knows that Tomato is now out, so he knows that he is currently in the bleed. He's that 4th playoff driver out of the guys who could make it in. So he's going to be fighting very hard for that spot.
Taking a look at the other 3 guys, RZS Cam currently sitting in the 7th position, and FM Esports currently sitting in 11th. So with that big of a points gap, yes, Smokey would be that 4th driver as of right now.
And he's the 4th driver, but still very much a long race ahead of him, and he needs to hold that spot. Though, like I said earlier, this is one of probably his best, one of if not his best track he's good at. As MVP, he's going to look to make the move on the inside of Smokey for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, MVP was finally able to get around Vanquish, but Vanquish trying to stay in line or could follow MVP. And it looks like into turn 3, he definitely will try to follow MVP. Off of 4, Smokey might get a little bit of a run to stay side by side, and he will. And that's the thing, the car on the high side typically gets the run off of the corners. Going into the corners, the inside car has the advantage until after the apex of the corner. Now the outside car is able to hold more speed and stability, and that's how you're able to launch yourself. But as of right now, JJ Reds is loving seeing these 2 cars side by side because neither one of them are going to get enough of a run to pass him.
Another car who's liking that is Vanquish because he knows he has a very good opportunity to pass him if one of them makes a mistake. Being side by side, there's not much room for error. Maybe at Homestead where the banks are very much wider than some of the tracks we go to, is Smokey goes way up the track and he's going to be passed by Vanquish now, and MVP is going to be able to clear him. But like I was saying, when you have 2 cars side by side like this, if one makes a mistake like we've seen Smokey do, you can get a pretty easy spot here.
Pretty easy spots for grabs. And give me a second here as I am not looking at the screen because I need to grab a charger for the laptop. My laptop is how I manage the streams.
MVP making a move on the inside of JJ. Making a move inside of JJ for the lead. There's going to be side by side as they enter turn number 3, but Vanquish is right behind them. Vanquish giving MVP a push.
All right, there we go. We are back, and let's get this connected before it dies on me. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, now we're looking back. Yes, Vanquish, RZX, JJ Reds side by side for the 2nd spot. MVP back to 1st. Smokey sitting in 4th.
Oh!
Whoa!
Vanquish squishes JJ up against the wall.
3 wide and Mayhem with a big push from SGG Oracle. He almost gets turned in turn 1, but he hangs on to it.
Yeah, Oracle, SSR, and Smokey all capitalized on that. Between Vanquish and
whoa! And around Mayhem goes. Mayhem and Vanquish together. Mayhem able to keep it off the wall, and he saves it.
Well started for Mayhem. He came up and squished Oracle to the outside wall. Oracle with nowhere to go has to keep going straight turns. Gets him very loose, and then he goes up the bumper of Vanquish. But it's still very close.
RZX Cam, a driver that we were talking about on that bubble. He's made his way up to 3rd place now. King Cameron making an XRS start in 4th. JJ, Oracle, Vanquish, all getting tight together, trying to fight to get back inside the top 5.
Yeah, Cam has made some very good moves. He's capitalized on a lot of mistakes with a lot of drivers from the field, and that's why he's up where he is right now. But because of all these mistakes, the top 2 are starting to pull away just a little bit.
Just a little bit, and that slowed up the entire field. Everybody trying to get around to scramble. It was Oracle and Rough Rabbit who got each other into the wall. Oracle falls back to 11th. Someone in front of you in Bag Veloster getting around them. Meanwhile, Rough Rabbit finding himself in a rabbit hole, trying to fight off many drivers. And around he goes!
On top of him, I believe it's Crazy Fools.
No, someone in front of you was the car that he got on top of.
Oh. Sorry about that. We tried to make a quick switch, and Forza doesn't like when you do it. Yeah, obviously, caution is out.
Caution indeed out. Yeah, after that move that they were just squeezing each other, just barely out of room. Everybody was trying to scramble, fight for position. And unfortunately, ends up with 2 cars getting collected with each other.
Currently, Smokey's still at 4th transfer spot, but by only 1 point to Cam. The difference between 2nd and 3rd is 4 points, and currently Smokey is just 3 points behind Cam. So that would make him that 4th driver still, but as he goes into pit, that'll go off to Cam now.
Now Cam becomes the 4th driver sitting in the points currently. So RZX Cam. Remember folks, with Tomato Drifts gone, we only need to pay attention to 3 people. RZX Cam, FM Esports, and Smokey Unic. Those are the only 3 drivers that we need to look at now. And them joggling for position amongst each other, that will make it to where it's still ever so close.
There's one car I wouldn't count out now that that we haven't been talking about now that Tomato Drifts has left. That'd be Culture. He's in here. He's not horrible behind the playoff points right now, but he will need a couple mistakes from the guys ahead of him to be able to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, a driver who became eliminated upon not being able to be here was Dawson. Dawson, he came into this race sitting in 8th at 20.95, but Dawson not able to start tonight. Just a couple hours before the race, he tried to get a substitute driver. We don't allow substitutes when you request them so late. We only allow substitutes if you request them a day in advance or earlier. RZX Cam looking like he had a little bit of a botched start that time.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't want that. He's safe for now because FM and Smokey both went to the pits that time by. But different scenario with a pit stop as he's around in front of the field. Off the bumper of, I believe, JJ. Oh, he gets slammed by Smokey.
I mean, AK, you already caught that moment, so I let you do that.
I just happened to be on the right car at the right time.
And no caution at the line.
Smokey and Cam both damaged. Caution called.
Caution, okay, so caution now called.
That sounds like it was a little late on Smokey and Cam's part if they had damage or not. And intervals will be now on.
Okay, so now with caution coming out here now, lap 25, the intervals will be implemented. The intervals are 4-lap caution intervals. So this is a 4-lap period. Once we go back to green, it'll be a 4-lap period that we will not allow yellow. So let's say we go back to green, lap 27. Then if we head back to green on lap 27, that means when the leader crosses the line, he starts 28. No cautions until lap 32.
Yeah, and that was wrong place, wrong time. That stemmed from that restart for Cam. You said it. He had not a great restart and he was just put in the wrong place and was just about, I don't know, half an inch away from clearing JJ Reds. And then he got I don't know whose fault it was. I didn't see the full thing, but I seen that he did go off the front bumper of JJ Reds for sure. Well, that changes a lot. That should put FM Esports being that 4th playoff driver, but it might also be Cart, depending on how far back FM is. Sorry, not Culture, sorry. I don't even know why I said Cart. No, it won't quite be enough for Culture. So FM will have that 4th playoff spot. As Culture's about between 5 and 7 points off of being ahead of him there.
We'll ride along with Exiv for this restart. MVP leading the field to green.
Seems the cars may have settled down just a little bit now. Looking at that first couple of laps where we had a lot of 3-wide action off the restart, but a little bit of 2-wide.
Yeah, you had Oracle and Exiv side by side there for a little while. But Exiv, he was the one to try and get around, and he got by. Looks like SSR Mayhem goes into the pit lane. Oh, okay.
I got back in, don't worry.
Oh, you, okay.
Sorry,
guys, AK got the Forza boot for a second, and he was not in the lobby.
I'd like to let Tomato know I am not one of the 6 drivers you need.
Yes, for Tomato's sake, a commentator getting lagged out does not count as a driver lag.
So I'm gonna have to take a second to load the paint schemes of all the drivers' vans, so it might be a little useless for a couple seconds.
You're good. All right, so top 6 have pulled away for a little bit. 7th, 8th, and 9th are all together. Those drivers being Crazy Fool, Smiley, and Vanquish currently sitting in 9th. And then further on back, and then you have another group of 3 of Culture, Rabbit, and someone. So right now, everybody just kind of staying in line, as AK stated, being a little bit more patient this time around as the laps tick down. A lot of guys expecting this race to be 1 stop, but the earliest that you can pit is lap 50. So lap 50, that's about the earliest that you can pit if you want to go into pit road right away. But the more fighting, the more jostling that everybody's running, maybe whatever the caution situation is, do you want to pit right away? That is the question that a lot of guys are going to be asking to see whether if it's worth it for them to pit right away or not. Me personally, I would not pit right away. I would just wait just a tiny bit, because I want to make sure I'm good green to the end, because you just never know if a race goes green for a long time. Now all of a sudden we're talking fuel mileage. After the spin that he was just involved in, RZX Cam has made his way up to 14th position, trying to get around a big cluster of drivers. Big cluster that he's currently battling with. Forza Europa, SSR Mayhem, who's a lap down after going down pit road. Sly the Uberman also in that group. And it looks like Mad Dab as well was also in that group. RZX Cam, he just needs to have focus, patience. He was lucky that that wreck happened to him early on. So then he can try his best just to get back up to the front. Because with the way the points are separated right now, in FM sitting 13th, and with Smokey actually, where is Smokey? Oh, Smokey is 21st. What happened to him?
He was
He's
involved
one lap
with
down
Cam's
as well.
incident.
Ah, he was involved with Cam. Okay, so he's one lap down because of that. So really, with both of them trying to recover. So with FM, he's in 13th. He's the one who would have that 4th spot, I believe.
Yeah, right now FM has the 4th spot. Oh, cars flipping down the front stretch.
Whoa, Exiv!
Caution, obviously out. 2 cars involved.
And
Exit and Smokey.
Bag Veloster.
Oh no, sorry, not Smokey.
Wow. That was indeed a flip.
Very
Right as-
rare flip at Homestead.
Yeah, at Homestead. Wow. We were panning the camera right back around turn 4. And I just see Exiv in the air. Wow. That
Yeah, I
makes
just,
for an awesome on-stream moment. See?
I had just gotten back from loading up everyone's paint schemes, and I see that out of turn number 4.
Wow.
So I know you were talking about pit strategy while I was loading all the schemes. Something that I think may happen is you may see Smokey and FM work together because they are teammates. It would be very smart of them to try and get at least one driver into the playoffs, because it's not guaranteed that they'll get one driver, but out of all the teams right now, they have the better odds of getting a driver into that 4th spot because they have 2 drivers available to get in that spot. So I would expect probably something between FM and Smokey as well, as long as things go right for them, which so far, at least for Smokey, things have not gone well. As he was involved in that second caution very early on and had a lot of damage.
With that, that will mark it to where the field will get regrouped back up. RZX Cam now sits in 9th.
It sounds like race control has told the drivers go around one more lap.
Ah, so one more time. I believe we had another driver. Yeah, because after Exiv flipped, we saw it on the stream. He pretty much flipped right past the barrels of pit road. And per the rule, you cannot go backwards. And so with him even being that close to the pit lane, he couldn't go backwards to get back to the pit lane. And after a flip like that, we know that he was 100% damaged on everything.
Yeah. After that, you are pretty much a stalled car for the most part.
And there was no way that he was getting back around as quickly as somebody who, let's say, wrecked like a casual wreck in turn 1.
Next available will be lap number 45 for caution.
Okay, lap 45, next available for when the field goes green this time. Right along with Rough Rabbit for this restart. Culture, he's making his way up. Culture's in 8th. Remember, he's somebody that needs a really big points jump in front of these guys, because now with Tomato gone, he has a very slim chance, but a chance. So we'll keep an eye on that.
We're going next time around, as I think Europa got damage from, I believe he said Vanquish.
Oh.
Europa will get his spot back, though.
So Europa getting damage from Vanquish. Is anything going to happen with him on that?
It sounds like he probably got a warning for that, but it doesn't sound like anything is going to happen other than that. Unless, of course, he were to do it again. So with that, caution now will be activated on lap number 46. And Europa has chosen to start at the back of the field.
All right. So now everybody where Europa was at gets to move up one position.
Which Smokey and FM are a part of that group that get to do it, along with... Sorry, I was about to say along with Cam, but no, Cam is just ahead of them.
Back to green.
Ooh. This is about what we saw last time, or in the last two restarts, as cars being spread out a lot. See I've seen one or two cars go 3 wide off that restart, 10 more go 2 wide.
Don't see the field getting that rowdy. King Cameron and Crazy Fools looked like they were about to go side by side, and Crazy's trying to get a run. It looks like Smiley will now be side by side with him. RZX Cam.
Currently, I was about to say, currently RZX Cam has the 4th transfer spot compared to Smokey and FM.
Cam trying to get a good run, trying to get that 7th spot away from Rough Rabbit.
It looks like Culture's pushing Rough Rabbit again, a playoff driver who probably has, no offense, but the least amount of odds to make it here tonight. He needs the 3 cars in front of him to have a bad race and him to finish probably within inside the top 5, give or take, for Culture to be in these playoffs. As Cam gives him a big shove, I thought they might go around there because Vanquish was on that quarter panel of Cam.
Vanquish, he is able to get there to the inside of RZX Cam into turn 3. Ooh, might have shoved him up a little bit. Cam didn't like that. Gives a tiny shove back.
Yeah, he knows that like we've said multiple times, every point counts with these cars being so close on this track, and with the points being so close as they go 3 wide, some in 1 SSR, Cam going 3 wide in the back stretch. Car spinning in the background, hitting the inside wall.
Couldn't quite tell who that was.
It was a yellow car.
That may be backed.
I believe it was, yes. Sorry, not a yellow car, a green car. I guess it's greenish yellow.
And that little pass from Vanquish to Cam. Cam lost a lot of momentum, and now Cam's all the way back to 11th. Or at least contesting with 11th, side by side with SSR Mayhem. Pretty
big pack in front of Smokey and Cam right now. They might be able to pick up a couple cars. If they're going to go 3 wide, they're going to split Sly. Oh, Sly gets
Whoa, Sly really takes it in!
Cam's losing a lot of positions for it now.
4 positions were lost right then and there by Cam. Sly, I'm assuming Mayhem either slowed down too much for the corner or Sly really sent it in. Didn't want to back out of the 3 wide.
It sounds like it was an accidental dive bomb on Sly's part as he told race control to give Cam an apology. But now it's a very close race as FM will have that 4th transfer spot, I believe, as long as Culture doesn't have it, which I don't believe he does. No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, don't believe Culture would have it yet, because Culture right now sitting in the 9th position.
Oh, car spinning into the tire wall.
King Cameron, I believe, was one of them. Couldn't tell the other car.
Smiley went off the bumper of Smiley by the looks of it. Caution's out. We'll have to go one more time around. Some of the front runners getting into each other now. Those two are sitting at the front for a lot of the race. I didn't see what quite happened, but I just seen that King Cam was going off the front bumper of Smiley.
So now, we were talking about that pit window earlier in pit strategy. Lap 50 was the earliest you can pit. Now caution comes out here on lap 52. Do you go in?
It depends. It depends where you are in the field. If you're in the back, you have nothing to lose by going in. If you're a front runner or a playoff driver, I think you play it more safe. It's an even bigger question for the likes of FM and Smokey, who have said are part of the same team. I'm going to expect them to come in together so that they can, as much as you don't get a huge draft at this track, you can still get a little bit, which will build your momentum back up. So, if they do come in on a green flag, I do expect them to come in together. But whether they do or don't, I don't know.
And we see
Culture's going to come in.
Oracle goes in. Crazy Culture. A lot of guys going into pit road this time.
Sly.
Yeah, a lot of the field going into pit road.
Let's see if anyone else is going to go by. Shorty goes in.
Looks like the cars that stayed out was Rough Rabbit, JJ Reds, Mayhem, Vanquish, Europa, Panthers, Smiley is here, and Mad Dab. Those were all the drivers that stayed out.
We are going this time. Next available will be 58. We're about to be about that halfway mark. I'm expecting this restart to be a little more aggressive than the last one.
Well, let's see. We're running alongside with Panthers on this one. Green flag, Vanquish giving a big push to Rough Rabbit.
Yeah, very aggressive. He took it 4 wide for about half a second there into turn number 1.
Meanwhile, up front, Mayhem and Vanquish side by side with each other, and Europa and Panthers also side by side with each other. JJ Reds takes the lead. Rough Rabbit in that second position, and look at that cluster behind them.
Oracle's around!
Oracle around! RZX Cam involved, someone in front of you.
They all seem to get away. I don't know if anyone has damage. Shorty up into the outside wall off the bumper of FM, and he keeps it straight. Cam being... the bumper being bashed a lot. Cam does have a little bit of damage to the front left brake and spring. Another car to the outside wall. I believe that's crazy. He's going to come down and get hammered by a couple of cars.
Yes!
Someone in one, and Shorty all involved. Pam again, wrong place, wrong time.
A lot of guys who went around there.
Again, Pam just wrong place, wrong time.
We will see. That puts
Smokey silently making his way through the field. He's battling Culture right now for that top 10.
yeah. None of the 4 drivers that we're looking at least are inside the top 10, or at least Smokey is battling for that 10th spot.
Yeah, Smokey cleared Culture now, so he does have that 10th spot, and he might be able to try and go for Smiley. Smiley just turned Aikson. Takes him hard to the inside wall and comes back up on the track.
Sure, that was more accidental. Now that moves Smokey up into 8th.
I believe X to green.
X have said to keep it green.
I believe he did.
You do have that option as the car that got involved in the yellow if you want to keep it green or not. If you have severe damage and you are very slow on the racetrack, then race
around off the bumper of course in Europa.
And we see that both of them up in the track.
Culture. And maybe another car. Europa, Mayhem, Culture. All involved.
And a big crash.
Oh,
Turn 3,
Shorty.
And Shorty spins, trying to get into pit road. Mayhem severely damaged. Culture, Europa, all involved as well. So Europa and Mayhem, that's what you said, got into each other. Now the people that stayed out last time go in this time.
Yeah, and it's just reversing the strategy, right? Especially with this caution, you have an opportunity to take it. So anyone who was damaged, anyone who didn't take it last time will definitely be coming in this time.
Yeah, but that was a big crash. I think bigger than a lot of people think. Because Mayhem, he got turned at one of the worst spots, directly heading into turn 3. Heading into turn 3, that's where big wrecks have happened at Homestead in the past. We had one of the
because that inside tire wall they're in, it's an immortal object, so it can send people back up onto the driving lane, and that's what we've seen there, and Culture got tagged for it.
Yeah, because going into turn 1, going into turn 1, there is a tire wall, but it's not immediately there because of the exit of pit road. The exit of pit road, there's tires sitting on the access road wall. Hopefully you'll see the difference once cars pass around here. Again, they're not doubled up, so obviously we're not going green this time. Looking like we'll need to get the field sorted out here. But here, heading into turn 1, you have a big portion of the track of the Miami Road Course circuit. And then you have turn 1. So the first tire barrier is further inward. Tire barriers that sit in turn 1 are further inward in comparison to turn 3. So with that, that does narrow up the track a little bit. And in fact, one of the largest crashes that has ever happened in XRS happened in that very turn 3. I believe that was a minimum 14-car pileup that happened into turn 3. The entire track was blocked, and only about 6 or 7 cars made it through. Everybody else got involved.
Caution will be able to come out, I believe, at lap number 67.
Let's ride along back. JJ Reds, one of the first drivers to come down to pit road after leading. See what happens here. Some people might have time to start at the back.
Yeah, it looked like Crazy might have been able to, but I think he might have backed off a bit in order to not do it.
Yeah, very risky in line for a penalty.
Yeah.
For Kyle Busch restarts. Big cluster of cars in front of him with Rough Rabbit. You have Exiv in there. Someone in front of you, Mad Dab, King Cameron, Vanquish, JJ Reds, Mad Dab, and Exiv getting together.
They all save it.
Save it! Heading into turn 1. Wow, that was close. FM and SSR get together. They were 4 wide for a second off turn 2.
Smokey wants to hear and see. He's ahead of him. Oh! Shorty's going to take it 3 wide. He was very, very close. I believe he had some contact with another car.
Single file. Except for the very back.
Smokey looks to take a kind of new Panthers just a tiny bit,
One car
trying to get
around,
that top
spinning
line.
off of turn 2.
Second car well as ball hits the inside wall. It's a black
Smiley.
car.
Smiley was the one who went around, and I believe Mr. Shorty was the other car that went around.
Smiley he was running very well at the beginning of this race, but then has been involved in 2 incidents, so it's not having showing he wants here tonight.
Up front, a lot of cars battling side by side with each other. MVP trying to get to the inside of someone in front of you for the race lead. Sly the Uberman sitting in 3rd place with Bag Veloster and King Cameron side by side. Vanquish sitting in 6th. If anything happens, he's going to go to the inside of Bag.
We said these cars were very competitive, and I think this about front 8 or 9 shows it. They are all within place. I don't know. 0.15 of each other probably, with how close these guys are.
Oh, looks like X and JJ Reds kind of running each other out of the room at the exit of 2. They both kind of slid into the wall just a tiny bit. King Cameron had a little bit of loose entry into turn 3, but he's able to hold it and move forward.
Yeah, now Vanquish is going to look to take over that 3rd spot from Summon 1. He'll get the clear off of turn number 2.
Someone.
He'll get a spot back at a 4.
Not before.
Behind them, Rough Rabbit
Vanquish.
trying to make a double move.
Vanquish about almost attempted the crossover, but thought twice about it. Now it goes back to the inside, trying to clear him off the exit of turn 2. Still very close with each other.
Into turn number 3, it looks like Vanquish might have him clear by a little bit. Yes, he will. So now Sly's going to try and press someone.
Vanquish working his way up, trying to get side by side with 2nd, and he will be side by side with King Cameron. Might be clear of him at the exit of turn 2. He will.
Currently, FM holds that 4th playoff spot. He's just behind Smokey in 11th place. He's been silently working their way up the field, and they've caught up to this main front pack.
Sly and someone now side by side, battling for the 4th spot.
sends it in. And he'll hold that spot for the time being, but very close between the top 11.
JJ Reds and Exif side by side with each other.
Still side by side. I believe they're being held up now by a Rough Rabbit, but Exif will have that high line and looks like he'll be able to clear him. But now Smokey will come on the inside and try and get that 9th spot from him.
Smokey working his way back up through the field, because while Smokey is ahead of FM and FM has the position, the more positions Smokey gains on FM, because FM couldn't get around JJ, that gives Smokey a chance to help hold that 4th spot.
Yeah, he just needs 4 positions. He just needs 4 positions ahead of FM, and he'll have that lead. 3 to tie it. But he got into that outside wall a little bit there, so he'll lose that position and potentially lose the position to FM.
Now that you mentioned tiebreakers, let's get into what happens if we have a tiebreaker for that 4th spot. If FM is a driver involved for the tiebreaker spot, he will get the position. Why? Because he won at Daytona earlier this season. So in a tiebreaker, the first thing that we look at after the points tie is wins. Whichever driver has more wins gets in. Smokey, Cam, and Culture, neither one of them have a win. Only FM has a win out of those 4 drivers. So if a tiebreaker happens, and FM is one of the 2 drivers involved in the tie for the 4th spot, he gets it. So, now that that's out of the way, if we have 2 drivers that are not FM Esports in a tie for the 4th position, then after that, obviously since neither one of them will have a win, it then goes off of average finishing position. And if somehow they have the exact same average finishing position, then we would then look at if either one of them has playoff points, and then for the playoff points that they earned heading into the playoffs, we would see how many each one of them have earned.
Which I believe FM would win that with playoff points, which would win at Daytona.
FM would win because he has a win anyway.
Well, yeah, I guess. Listen.
I literally just said.
I know you did, okay? I know you did. I know you did.
Oh my god. Look at this guy. Chat.
Oh! JJ Red's almost around along with Balaj. What I said? Bagged Vaster. I don't know why I said Balaj. So, excuse me. But Bagged Vaster. Oh my god, I can't speak.
Almost went off the bumper. You can't say his name. Bagged Veloster.
I don't know what it is about his name, but for whatever reason, my mind just can't get around it.
Number 77 almost got around. Fix up your mind.
I'm sorry, there's just too much happening.
Hey, number 77 car almost got involved in an incident on lap 77.
Well, I wasn't on his car, so I couldn't read his number.
Well, then pay more attention. I don't know. I don't know, AK. Okay. I can't tell you how to do your job, okay?
What do you mean? You have my job. You could.
I have a better one.
Okay.
Now everybody plays the single file game.
SSR's around! Yes, he is! In front of Smokey. Smokey barely goes to avoid him.
I believe he did nick the wall just a little bit. Right as I said, people were playing the single file game. And oh, he got involved with someone else. 2 other cars turned around. Looks like Mr. Shorty and Smiley's here.
Caution out.
No, not quite. The 2 drivers that I said. Mad Dab was one of them, and Panthers was the other driver. I thought it was Smiley's here.
Yeah, that was off the bumper of Smokey. SSR was trying to hold the position to Smokey, but Smokey tried to bump him out of the way in turn 3 and 4, and then caught him off the corner of 4.
So that's a handful of incidents that we've seen SSR get involved in. At the same time, Mayhem does not race that often in the XRS. Yeah, not expecting a lot of the front runners to go into the pit road. And did Mayhem leave?
No, I believe it was King Cameron that left.
Oh, really?
Listening to race control, he did pull over just in front of pit road.
Yes, it was King Cameron. I thought Mayhem would have left because of how many incidents he was just involved in.
So now we stereotype, huh?
And, hey, at least I know how to pronounce everyone's name in the field. I don't want to hear it. At least I know how to pronounce the names.
Hey, listen, I just had a small brain fart. When we see him again, I'll get the name right. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure. yeah, sure, you'll get the name right. Guys watching, did a cone just land on MVP's car? Yes, there is a cone. Okay, it flew off now. It flew off now. There is a cone.
SSR and Smokey are going at it.
Oh, yes, they are going at it at the back of the field.
SSR is not happy with how Smokey erased him.
Careful of this. Interesting to see if race control does anything about it. Smokey being a playoff driver, trying to get that 4th position. And whoa, what is going on here? We're with Mayhem now. I think either guys have the field order messed up or... I don't know. What's going on? What's going on with... Whoa! Bagged Velocity and Mayhem, they just made contact with each other. And Bagged, it looks like he did that intentionally to Mayhem.
It did look like Bagged might be blocking. I wonder, because I believe, don't quote me, I believe Bagged and Smokey are teammates. No?
No, they're not.
No. I know they definitely know each other.
They're not teammates, though. Well, we're back to green. Very interesting to see whether if race control is going to address that later on. FM and Smokey, they're side by side with each other. Actually, no, Forza Europa now side by side with FM. RZX Cam sitting in 12th.
I'm going to watch out for the SSR can get to Smokey to see what might happen there, because obviously two drivers that are not happy with each other right now. That all stemmed from the last caution where SSR went off the bumper of Smokey at a turn number 4, so obviously SSR was not appreciative of that.
Top 4 are side by side with each other. Vanquish and MVP side by side for the lead, while someone and Exiv are side by side making contact with each other. And then JJ Reds and Rough Rabbit also side by side. So the top 6 are 2 by 2 by 2. Guys, you're racing, not pace laps. Come on. This is going to bunch up. This is going to bunch up the field. Yeah, still 2 by 2, not the third 2 by 2, but it's Rough Rabbit and JJ. They heard my message. I don't know about the front 4.
Ooh, someone in an exit with a little bit of contact. Aggressive move by someone.
JJ making an aggressive move, diving to the inside in turn 1. JJ, he's going to clear both Exib and someone. Now Exib, instead of being on the outside, will be on the inside of someone, while Vanquish and MVP still duking outside by side for first.
Oh!
MVP, he was on the outside last time, battling with JJ Reds for the win, and he wasn't able to capitalize, but here, running the outside with Vanquish, trying to see if he could get a little bit more of a run this time around. Not sure if he's going to get there, though. Vanquish looks like maybe just a corner or two more he could get clear. Now he's clear. Whoa! MVP immediately to the inside! He dived in at 3! Contact made! Exit taking advantage! And around! No! They save it for now!
Wow! Whoa! Okay, we're still good.
Side by side for the lead. Almost 3 wide for second. So close. 3 wide for the lead off turn 2. JJ to the inside. Exit in the middle. Rough Rabbit on the outside. 3 by 3 for a half second.
Wow.
Very close racing right now. Rough Rabbit the leader. JJ now fighting back on the inside. Exif and Vanquish getting a run off 4. Exif giving a push to Rabbit on the high line.
Oh,
says get out the way. 3 wide for second.
Exif shoved his nose in trying to get around Rough Rabbit.
Not quite able to be there. Now it's 3 wide for third. Vanquish clear. And Vanquish is going to go for the lead on Reds.
3 wide for second.
Side by side for the lead off of 4. MVP and Exib almost getting around with each other. They're able to hold it. Meanwhile, FM Esports putting himself into the picture in the 8th position. All these cars are in a cluster with each other.
Smokey almost got turned there. A little farther back. Rough Rabbit almost turned off the bumper of Fly. Try to make a move to the inside.
And here they come into turn 3. Vanquish and MVP clear of Reds. Top 3 all single file. Now how long will they stay there?
My guess is not very long. I think all drivers have initiated go time about 30 laps early. So there's about 11 or 12 cars all in this one pack.
Oh, Vanquish MVP. Vanquish blocking him all the way down to the apron, and around they go! In front of the field in turn 3!
Exit and fall. No one else for the time being. Rough Rabbit at the line.
Caution is out. Rough Rabbit gets the spot right at the line. Red's able to pull off for second, MVP in third. FM has moved his way up to 4th.
Smokey though in 6th, so if FM doesn't get good restart, Smokey might be able to capitalize here.
I need a drink. My boy. Guys, you're killing me. I wasn't expecting this for another 20 laps. Oh. I don't think this will count as a drink, but I have a milkshake for now. I've had this milkshake with me, but I haven't been sipping on it, so.
Milkshake sounds good right now.
Milkshakes are fantastic.
I can agree with that. I can second that opinion.
Yeah.
What kind of milkshake you got?
Oh, I just like classic. If I just want to try how places milkshakes are, I just get a classic vanilla.
I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah, because if they screw up a vanilla milkshake, none of their flavored ones are going to be good.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's pretty hard to screw up a vanilla one.
Alright. Ugh. Hopefully that helps a little bit. What I really need is some water, and I don't have one.
I got water.
Can you ship that in like 20 minutes?
It'll take about 3 to 4 business days.
Then we'll forget the water. Okay. So, so what happened there? Vanquish and MVP. MVP tried to go to the inside, but Vanquish blocked him all the way to the apron, and neither one of them were going to back out of that one. Here we go, back to green. FM and Smokey are right next to each other.
Already. And false restart is called.
A false restart is called. Cars went around right away. And wow.
Culture appears to have gotten the worst of it.
All right, guys, settle down here.
You'd be expecting it from the 8 cars that are, I guess 7 technically. Actually, less than 7. I guess 6 technically that are fighting for playoff spots. But I don't think a single playoff driver besides Culture was involved.
Either way, Culture had the slimmest of chances to get there.
And I definitely don't think it's Culture's fault. I think it was, but the sounds of it, somebody might have jumped it a little bit, just listening to race control, and then obviously ran to the back of somebody, and it lifted them up off the ground, and then turned their car, and then the rest is history. By lifted up off the ground, I mean tires.
7 points is the separation between FM and Smokey. So with a 7-point separation, and now them being in the top 5, there's a 9-point separation between first and third. So keep that in mind. First place receives 50 points, second 45, third 41, fourth 38, and fifth 36. Then from 6 on back, it's 1 point back. So fifth receives 36 points, sixth receives 35 points, and seventh 34 all the way back.
They will be going next time by, not this time by, because some people did get damaged. Culture being one of those people. I believe Panthers is the other.
So this is practically caution 2.0.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, hopefully this didn't shake up people's minds too much, trying to get back into this fight. So we have FM in 4th, Smokey sitting in 6th, RZX Cam sitting in 8th. Remember, 7 points, that was the separation between FM and Smokey, but there's only about a 3-point separation or something like that between FM and Cam. Let me look here real quick. It is a 4-point separation. So a 4-point separation between Cam and FM. So if Cam gets up there in the mix, it's going to get even closer.
Yeah, these three cars seem to be very much close together throughout the entire night. If one of them's at the back, then probably the other two are at the back. But if one of them's at the front, it seems the other two are at the front. They really want to make this points battle as close as they can by the looks of it.
We will see, just a handful of laps away from crossing the lap 100 mark. Let's see how aggressive they're going to be this time.
Nothing too aggressive yet.
Smokey ran a little high off the restart, going to lose a couple spots. Cam able to make his way up to 6, being side by side with Sly. FM currently sitting in the 4th position, just inside the top 5. With Oracle trying to catch up to him.
Yeah, right now Sly is having to battle Cam for that 6th spot just behind Oracle. Cam has that inside lane, Sly on the outside. Again,
Sly
wanting to get these points.
On the outside, you're able to get that little bit of runoff, and you're able to get the advantage in the corners. But if you're the guy on the inside and you want to clear that guy on the outside, you need to be able to make sure that the other guy's entry is not as low as you can get them. You want to make sure they have a high as entry as possible, so then their arc is much more shallower and they scrub off more speed in the apex.
Yeah, which you can see they're definitely trying to do as much as they can, because a lot of these guys are very close to hitting this outside wall, and some of them are actually scraping it. Car going around, maybe not. That was Vanquish who saved it, I believe. I could be very much wrong on that, though. That was in turn number 3.
Could not tell because I didn't even see what was happening.
I barely caught it. I caught the end part of it. I caught the part where Vanquish was sideways into turn 3 and somehow managed to gather it up.
Cam and Sly still fighting side by side. Now Sly is able to clear Cam into turn 3. And FME Sports is actually catching the guys in the top 3.
Yeah,
Reds and MVP are going to be side by side in the 1.
Along with Smokey, this is a track FM is very strong at. So it does not shock me that he's able to keep pace, especially with how close most of the field is. It does not shock me whatsoever. Buffalo is battling up front. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th are slowly catching up to these top 4.
Yeah, Oracle leading the charge, that 5th car. Originally, Oracle was right on the bumper of FM, but now FM, he's caught these guys. He might have a run to the inside of Rapid here, and he will. He's going to be side by side with him off of turn 2.
Well, if there was ever a time to be challenging for the lead and trying to challenge for a win, I think FM has found the time. It looks like he's going to be trying to take advantage of it here.
And he clears Rough Rapid off the exit of 4.
Didn't have much room, but he cleared him, and it was a very clean pass, a very good pass by FM. Get around Rough Rapid.
Getting a little bit backed up into turn 1. Rough Rapid got into the bumper of FM just a little bit. And now that puts FM right on the bumper of JJ Reds. He backs off of it into turn 3. Hoping for a small mistake from him, but no mistakes made so far.
Yeah, none as of yet.
So MVP and Reds are 1st and 2nd. Those were the two who were fighting for the win last time we were here at Miami. And it was Reds who came out on top that time. And now FME Sports here with now less than 20 laps to go. He says he wants that 4th spot, but maybe a win is just another bonus to also give himself a championship point going into Indianapolis.
So precaution just announced it's going to be 117. So now everyone knows that it's by this time I would pretty much say it is go time for most of these drivers, especially the playoff drivers. The Reds looking to the inside, MVP going to go down to block, FM going to come down for the draft. What little you can get on this track.
RZX Cam and Smokey have fallen all the way back to 9th and 10th. They were not able to get around that cluster of cars that were battling with each other. So with them sitting all the way back, FM comfortably in that 4th spot.
See the car behind him? It's 2 cars that have not been nice to each other this race.
I believe JJ was almost trying to give a push to MVP. Either is trying to break away from FM and the pack. Because if JJ is able to isolate with MVP, if they have no pressure from behind, JJ, he won this race last time. He's going to try and do the same thing to MVP that he did the first time.
I mean, if it works once, why stop it then?
Because that's what happened the last time. They were battling, and then JJ got MVP and himself.
Around the back. Hard to the outside wall. I believe it might have been off the bumper of Culture. I can't confirm that though because they were pretty grouped together.
Did you tell who the car was?
I see Panthers is involved. Bad Veloster is involved. Told you I'd get it right this time. And it was Shorty.
Yeah, I saw Veloster in pit row. So I'm assuming he was one of them, but I wasn't quite sure who else.
Oh, car going around in front of the leaders. Been able to keep it down, and
Caution.
MVP will have the lead.
Oh boy. This might be the last yellow. Because we'll get back to green.
111, 110?
111. Probably
Yeah.
111. Because if we're back to green on lap 111, then
I think there'll be
there's
maybe
either
a
going to be
two lap window.
yeah there's
cautions.
Yeah, there's going to be like a 1 or 2 lap window for cautions. Because if we get back to green on 11, then we wouldn't have a caution called until lap 115. So then 115 and 116 are the only 2 opportunities then for a yellow to come out. And then 117 is the cut.
Smokey's going into pit.
Hey, Smokey's all the way at the back, says he has nothing to lose. Not all the way back, 18th, 19th, 20th, but more in the back, I should say. And either way, Smokey had just saw the chat go off. Oh, that's blue.
Yep, race control has confirmed it. Lap number 115 will be when cautions are back on.
Okay, so when leader hits lap 115, 116, those will be the only 2 laps that a caution can be called. And blue predicts ways it's going. Could be possibility of another one. Very much so, with the way that these guys are racing with each other. There could be another opportunity for some of these playoff guys to get back into it. Because right now, FM is comfortably sitting in that 4th position.
Yeah, his biggest rival right now is Cam, who's 3 rows behind him.
Here we go, back to green. Oracle looks like he's going to try and make an aggressive start this time. Going to go 3 wide with Sly and FM. MVP and Red's going to be side by side for second. Or I'm sorry, Rabbit and Red's going to be side by side. MVP will have the lead. Mayhem, someone Oracle. Yeah, they're 3 wide off of 4. Vanquish looked like he wanted to go 4 wide for a second, but stays tucked in line behind Mayhem.
Still 3 wide as Andrew turns number 1 and 2. That's SSR on the inside as he'll now clear, and Vanquish will take his spot.
Moving through the field late.
Oh! Summon 1 is around in front of Aixon. Off the bumper. Shorty hits him. Another
3 cars are going to be tagged.
I didn't catch the 3rd car. It is. I'm trying to figure out who it is. I believe it might be Smiley. I believe it was Smiley.
Now they'll leave it. No caution called. One driver who got very lucky, could have gotten worse than that, is RZX Cam. He was right behind those guys when they got around, but he was able to avoid them. He's sitting in 10th.
But now for the Europa is right on his tail, gave him a little shot. Didn't get loose. He's going to look to the outside now. Cam's going to shut the door by the looks of it, or at least block it.
And now that sets Smokey all the way back in 17th position. So Smokey, unless a caution comes out in the laps that will be available, he's pretty much out of contention for that 4th spot, sitting as of right now. Cam looking like he could be out of contention as well. Excuse me, if he's unable to make a charge to the front. FM sitting in the 5th position, and he has a hungry SSR Mayhem and Vanquish charging in 6th and 7th.
Yeah, for sure, but there is a little bit of gap, which is good, and he has that draft. I don't know if SSR has it. I think he might just be out of it, FM's draft.
He might have it, because all you need to get the draft in Forza 7, you need to be about 150 feet back, and at least 150 feet within the other driver, and you both need to be going above 100 miles an hour. So they're both at that, and that's how you get draft.
Hopefully making around this time by, cautions will be off.
We will see. So far, nothing happening, nothing going on. And they have crossed the line.
No more cautions, green to the end no matter what.
Green to the end no matter what. For some, that might mean be careful. Others might be it's really time to go.
Especially if your cam or smoky, you are going to be. I wouldn't be shocked if they start moving people out of their way by just getting them a little loose into the corners, not wrecking them, but just giving them a bump in the corners to get them loose. Would not shock me to see a couple of that happen.
Very much right now where they stand, it's not looking like either one of them is going to make up enough spots on FM, because FM is the one that they need to beat, and he's running all the way in 5th. Now, what can be...
Oh, cars coming up onto the track. A couple cars up to dodging. That was Shorty.
And
came up onto the track.
Forza logo just popped up.
I believe it's Shorty that left.
We'll wait for the ticker to go on by to confirm that. Top 5 sitting very close to each other.
I mean, it was
Bagged, Shorty, Bagged, Shorty,
Yeah.
Smiley, they're all gone. So now, top 5 cars are under a blanket. Reds and MVP are side by side, but look at 3rd and 4th. Uber Motorsport teammates, Rough Rabbit and Sly. So, with here 2 laps to go, are they going to try and make a move for the win?
They definitely could, but behind them, they're 3 wide for 6th. SSR on the outside, Vanquish in the middle, and Asif on the inside. But I definitely can see these 2 Uber Motorsport cars trying to make a move here.
And here
They
they
get close
come.
enough.
White flag. 1 more lap to go at Miami.
Oh, SSR's around the front stretch.
And a crash happening here on the final lap. That means nothing, though, as MVP, Reds, going to be battling with each other. Reds to the inside of MVP in the turn 3 and 4. Can it be a repeat of 2 races in a row? Miami here. Reds, MVP to the line. MVP gets it.
Really good race there at the end between JJ and MVP. Very, very close.
And the one that got away comes back to him. MVP able to beat out JJ this time. Red second, I believe Rough Rabbit was able to get 3rd over Sly. And that means RZX U5A MVP, Rough Rabbit 420, Sly the Uberman, and FME Sports will be your 4 drivers battling for a championship at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it was a very good drive by FM today. He was up front for pretty much, I'd say, about 85% of this race. He did get involved in the 1 caution, which is why he was got set back about the middle portion of the race, but was able to drive all the way back up using others' mistakes and his own speed to be able to get back up into that spot. So very much a well-deserved potential championship run for FM Esports.
get the top 3 in here. Obviously, post-race.
Wasn't inputted. Hey, my audio's inputted now.
Make
I
sure you
switched up and
guys.
include my audio too.
Don't worry, they have to hear me cussing. Even though, don't, excuse me, it's not like it. Ugh, about to throw up.
Let's not throw up, please.
And we're going to do a... Make sure you guys have your audio connected. Let's do a mic check here real quick. Mic check 1, 2.
Mic check.
Ugh, mic check.
My mic is broken.
That's a lie.
Yes, thank you for informing me, JJ, yes.
Yeah, JJ, thank you for informing us over mic. I appreciate it.
Sorry for the call.
And I actually think I didn't even hear JJ because MVP is also streaming.
What was that laugh?
I don't know, but
I don't know
Vanquish is
what that
threatening me. Vanquish is threatening me for trying to do a block where he wasn't fucking cleared. I'm pretty sure that got caught on stream too, so it's not no one but to blame but himself on that one.
Okay, MVP, I'm going to ask under executive order for you to end your stream. So then, when the audio is connected of everybody, it connects to mine and not yours.
It connects to everyone in the party.
Yeah, it connects to everyone, guy.
I didn't hear somebody.
Fine,
Rabbit,
I'll
talk.
my stream.
Hello.
I hear.
There we go. Now I hear you guys. Okay.
It was so abrupt. I apologize.
Okay, now we're able to do post-race. AK, you know the deal. Or
Of course
do
I
you?
know the
Because
deal.
you didn't even pronounce
Hey,
Brad
hey,
Glosser's
hey,
name
whoa,
correctly.
whoa. Alright,
Shots
Stutter.
fired at AK.
Take it away, AK, with Rough Rabbit and RZXJJ Reds.
Rough Rabbit, obviously a top 3 for you today. You pretty much knew coming into this race that you would be making that final 4, unless you just had a horrible race by some miracle to the other drivers, which of course you didn't obviously get in the top 3 today. So walk us through your race here today.
Yeah, so early on, I got collected in that incident where I was spinning on someone in front of you's, entire hood and lost my spoiler in the catch fence. But yeah, I mean, I tried racing it as smooth as I could, having to get positions where I can and, give some leeway at the same time. I was racing it kind of just like, I can't even fathom what I'm wanting to say right now. I was trying to race it
Dude,
like
we
I
both.
was on the cut line because you got to add that little bit of aggressiveness to it, but at the same time, I mean, I was a bit more secure than others, so, I mean, I had to give, but I also had to take, so, I mean, it was kind of just being on the toes the entire time and trying to avoid all the incidents that happened.
Yeah, and what would you say your strategy coming into today was? Obviously, like you said, you weren't the person that was 100% in fear of being that in the cut line. Obviously, you were a little safer than most of the other drivers. So would you say your strategy today was more take what you can or take as much as you can?
Honestly, it was take as much as I can. Granted, like we've previously stated, I mean, I was safer than others, but yeah, it was just take as much as I can, get more of the drafting knowledge, and even though we're at the last race of the season next week, get as much drafting knowledge as I can with these cars, especially with the different packages, and just make sure that come Indy again, I could possibly go 2 for 3 at Indy and bring the championship home.
Speaking of that last race in the championship, obviously you being one of the final 4 drivers, what do you think your odds are of winning this season's champion?
Uh, I mean, we got tough competitors. I mean, as you can see in this Final Four, you got MVP. He's been pretty dominant everywhere. You got Sly. He's been consistent. I mean, he has moments where, not to bash the team owner, like he's like a bit mid, like in the mid pack, dicing it up. But when it comes down to, go time, he's up there. And then you got FM. I mean, he's probably been the sleeper out of all of us. And I mean, you can't count him out because I mean he has a win. I'm pretty sure he has a win. Yeah,
Yep.
he should have a win.
in Daytona.
He's been pretty consistent. So I mean, it's gonna be a strong fight for this championship. I'd say it's pretty much like a quarter apiece. If you were to give it like 100%, everybody at least has a shot because of the package at Indy. But I mean, we got 2 teammates in Uber Motorsports in there, so hopefully, crossing fingers, either me or Sly brings the championship home to Uber Motorsports. But we won't know until we get to Indy, which is the home track advantage for me.
Well, congratulations on the top 3 tonight, and congratulations on making the final 4, and good luck coming into the championship race next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And again, got to give a shout out to Uber Motorsports because we're on top. Uber on top, baby. Let's go.
And now we'll move on to second place, who tried to make a repeat move of our last Homestead race and try and get a repeat win at Homestead. That's JJ Reds. JJ, you tried to make the same move a second time, and it almost worked the second time, but MVP just barely edged you out. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, really didn't get the ideal qualifying I wanted. It's kind of difficult with these cars running about 3 or 4 laps in qualifying and trying to get a good time enough that could be pole or at least for the top 5. But started, I believe, 9th and then just kind of stayed in the top 10 throughout, including when we were pitting under caution. But yeah, it was a pretty fun race. I mean, we sent it 3-4 wide. I went 3 wide for the lead and took it at one point. But yeah, that last restart with me and MVP, I mean, I had Rough Rabbit behind. I was debating on whether to drop back to him to see if he would push me past MVP. But I just kind of stuck to my gut and just try to see if it could be a battle between me and him. And I basically did the exact same thing I did last Homestead. I mean, though MVP didn't really mess up his mark, really. I was just able to get to the inside at just a lower lane than you typically would run. But yeah, just kind of got there in 3 and 4 side by side. I was debating on whether to lean on him a little bit more than I did there, but obviously I thought about the last Homestead race, and MVP was I wouldn't say upset, but he was kind of embarrassed that he dominated that race and then just lost it
I
by
will
like
go
5
rounds
feet.
with you right now, boy. You want to go there?
But yeah, no, good race. I only lost by like 4 feet, but I'm glad it was the battle that it was, and I'm glad that MVP got the win, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it only took forever to get this awful win.
Obviously, it seemed like a lot of people figured out this car, as we've seen a lot of very big packs forming up front. I believe at one point we had 13 cars all within probably about half a second of each other. To even, I think, on the entire backstretch, or even then to turn 3 and 4, we had about 13 cars pretty much bumper to bumper. So it seems like a lot of people figured out this racetrack and this car by the second race. What would you say were the keys to tonight's race?
I think one of the keys is you have to qualify very good. Normally, if you qualify inside the top 10, I mean, though it's been my second time racing at Homestead with you guys, so I don't know if it works a lot of the time, but it's definitely helped me. Yeah, just qualify good in top 10, stay out of trouble. I actually missed a wreck at one point. I thought I was going to get caught up in it. MVP completely took out Vanquish, and that pretty much ruined his whole race. And
I did not take him out. He made an unnecessary block as I was inside. He can complain all he wants. That's his problem.
yeah, and another thing I think I would take away for people looking to get better at Homestead, if you guys ever do another Cougar series again, is uh, draft can play a huge factor. I mean, if someone behind you is has completely control of the bubble, has broken it, and is practically bumper to bumper with you, you can get a massive boost of speed. I particularly remember passing Rough Rabbit for the lead with like a 5 mile per hour difference against him because I had help from behind. And normally when you have allies behind you, it always will help. That's why the outside lane was so dominant coming off the corners, and the inside was just a little bit better. But yeah, I think that was pretty much the keys to getting a good run in tonight.
Obviously, you're not one of the final four going into the Indianapolis, but I'm sure you'll probably race there just for the fun of it, of course, because you have been here for a couple weeks now consistently. But looking at the final four, that being FM, MVP, Sly, and Rough Rabbit, who would you say has the best shot at winning the race and winning the championship?
Just by looking at clips and hearing all sorts of information people have been giving back to me, it sounds like Indianapolis can be pretty much anyone's game. If I had to choose that would win the championship, it's kind of all even throughout all the top four. Um, but MVP obviously looking to bring home his second championship for the R6 team. Uh, so I'll definitely be attending that race to be an ally for him. But if I'm in a shot to win a race, then I'll go for it. Obviously, as long as he's ahead of the other playoff drivers. But yeah, we'll see what we can think of, any sort of strategy that can help us bring home this championship for the team. And just good luck to MVP and the rest of his competitors.
Well, congratulations on the second place here tonight, and now that we know that you will most likely be attending that Indianapolis race, good luck in that race as well.
Thanks.
And with you to the race winner MVP.
All right. Now, RZXU5A MVP getting the win this time at Miami. I was about to say Miami. Oh, no. So MVP, pretty much, as JJ said, a little bit of deja vu. What we were getting, and especially there at the end, pointed out, you guys were in the same position. Did you learn from your mistake last time? How did you edge him out right there at the end?
Well, he didn't make the move a lap sooner. It was how he got me last time, and then he didn't have Tomato pushing him. That's the only difference this time was he didn't have a certain Tomato behind him pushing him. But great car, another great run here, and finally, I'll keep playing it again. Finally, an oval win. It's only taken me ages to finally get one.
You're having an
It's
AJ
like-
Allmendinger moment right now. Finally got the oval win.
It's like I've had the speed to win these oval races. There's always someone or something that screws me out of it. Finally, just broke through this time.
Well, here this time around, you have been a top contender, and especially this race, you were practically at the front almost all day long. You started up on the pole position, and you had the fastest lap time in practice. So But you saw the close field separation, so going all the way to the start of the race, seeing how close the field was, especially in practice and qualifying, and knowing the points battle that was going to be on the line for those handful of guys battling it out, what was the take on you being able to know that the aggression level is going to be on a little bit of the higher side, but at least you'd be in front of all the action rather than behind and trying to avoid everything?
That was the only thing I truly tried doing this whole race was to stay up front. Because I don't know how JJ, I know Vanquish did a couple times. I saw a few other cars as well that, like Rough Rabbit as well. Those guys that slipped to the back or all those problems and still made their way to the front, I'll give them their kudos. It's like, because every time it felt like I was trying to pass people, it just felt like forever and ever until I finally got around them. So how they did it on a couple occasions, I'll give them their kudos. But me just trying to stay up front it just makes it easier. You don't have to worrying about someone on your inside or outside giving room or anything like that. You can run your line, which here at Homestead, especially with this package, you miss your line by like a foot or so, and it can be like last Homestead race, and you could lose the race.
And very much only a separation of a few feet is what we saw for you and MVP, you and JJ crossing the line. I'm looking at your name on the leaderboard right now. So,
I've been duplicated.
so you and JJ battling side by side. Now, going into the championship, into Indianapolis next week. I know technically you and Sly have a 1-point advantage over the other championship competitors now with those championship points that both you and him earned. But with separation being so high amongst the top positions and points, especially that 5-point gap between first and second, you know everybody's going to be going for the win. So is there going to be any different kind of strategy that you're already thinking about going to Indianapolis?
It all depends if I don't get wrecked. I can't work a strategy when your car's getting wrecked and sent to the back. And with how all Indy races have been this season, it is gonna be, I've already said it's gonna be nearly impossible for me to still win this championship with how unpredictable this race will be next week.
Unpredictable indeed. But the one thing I can predict, and I called it, AK, please back me up on this. Beginning of the season, I predicted that we would have a new XRS champion, and indeed we will. All 4 of the final 4 drivers heading into this season have never won a championship in XRS. So everybody's going to be equally as hungry to try and get it. So,
Yeah.
MVP, congrats on your win. MVP, congrats on your win. And good luck to you next week. I'm saying that as a friend, competitor, and your team owner. Go ahead and go win the championship next week.
I'll try. We'll see who's gonna be friendly and who's not. I'm already getting Vanquish, who's a little upset for a watch. I'll say it again, that he wasn't cleared and came down all the way down to the apron, and it's like, I can't go any further. I'm not going into a tire barrier, guy. Not my problem.
All right, so we will see you here on the track next week. So that will wrap up post-race for interviews. So, AK, we knew this race, the aggressive level was going to go up. We knew the excitement level was going to be up. But we just didn't expect when people were going to hit that go switch. It looks like a lot of drivers hit the go switch early on.
Yeah, it seemed to be about between lap 80 and 90, so about 40 or 30 laps before the end of the race. We usually see it maybe 20, maybe 10 laps before is when we usually see it, or whatever the last restart is. But they hit it early today, and I think it was because it's a cutoff race. It's the cutoff race for the final four, so it's so much higher tensions. It's so much higher wins and losses is with these final four drivers, with the 6 drivers who could have made it in. So I think it all combined to have one very much aggressive race, yes, but we've seen some very good racing at times. So I think it was a very fun race to watch, and very much a race deserving of the cutoff race for the final four. And I'm just really excited to come into the season finale at Indianapolis.
Very exciting. Unpredictable, but once again, going over your Championship 4 drivers, it will be RZX U5A MVP, Rough Rabbit 420, Sly the Uberman, and FM Esports, all going to try and make a run to all win their first championship here at XRS. That will wrap up tonight's broadcast here at Homestead Miami Speedway. It was a season that we knew was going to be exciting all the way down to the wire. And yeah, there's still one more race left to go where we don't know who for sure has the best shot at winning it. We'll see you all in Indianapolis next week. Good night.